Hello, my fellow Tamrielites. Because the Season of the Worm Cult storyline brings the return of Mannimarco's worm cult, in my research I rediscovered one of my favorite Elder Scrolls texts, the poem Mannimarco, King of Worms. This text first appeared in TES6 Oblivion, which means the events of the poem are set either at the end of the Second Era, after ESO, or at the beginning of the Third Era, before the solo games. This poem, Mannimarco, King of Worms, shows us the past, present, and future of Vanus Galerion and Mannimarco, and even though the bulk of the events it depicts are set in ESO's future, the text provides one of the structural supports plot-wise for ESO's main quest and for the Solstice story. In addition to being core lore knowledge, the truth is that I've been wanting to read a text for a while, and this is a great excuse. This is such a fun poem to read, y'all. If you like this and want more, leave the name of the text you would like me to read in the comments. The video will have notes and will give additional info and context, otherwise I will just read the text without interruption. Thanks for watching. O sacred isle Artaeum, where rosy light infuses air, o'er towers and through flowers gentle breezes flow, softly sloping green-kissed cliffs to crashing foam below. Always springtide afternoon, housed within its border, this mystic, mist-protected home of the Sigic order, those counselors of kings, cautious, wise, and fair. 10 years and 30 since the mighty Remans fell, 2 brilliant students studied within the Sigic's fold. One's heart was light and warm, the other, dark and cold. The matter latter, Mannimarco, whirled in a deathly dance, his soul bones and worms, the way of the necromance. Entrapping and enslaving souls, he cast a wicked spell. The former, Galerion, had magic bold and bright as day. He confronted Mannimarco beneath Grey Kapora Tower, saying, "Your wicked mysticism is no way to wield your power, bringing horror to the spirit world. Your studies must cease." Mannimarco scoffed, hating well the ways of life and peace, and returned to his dark artistry, his paints, death, and decay. O sacred isle Artaeum, how slow to perceive the threat. And when the ghastly truth revealed, how weak the punishment. The ghoulish Mannimarco from the Isle of the Wise was sent to the mainland. Dawn's beauty, more death and souls to reap. You have found a wolf and sent the beast to flocks of sheep, Galerion told his masters. A terror on Tamriel has set. Speak no more of him, the sage cloaks of grey did say. 'Twas not the first time Galerion thought his masters callous, unconcerned for men in myrrh, aloof in their island palace. 'Twas not the first time Galerion thought it was time to build a new order to bring true magic to all, a mighty mages guild. But that was the time he left, at last, fair Artaeum's azure bay. Oh, but sung we have of Vanus Galerion many times before. How cast he off the Sigic's chains, bringing magic to the land. Throughout the years, he saw the touch of Mannimarco's hand. Through Tamriel's deserts, forests, towns, mountains, and seas, the dark grip stretching out, growing like some dread disease by his dark necromancers collecting cursed artifacts of yore. They brought to him these tools, mad wizards and witches, and brought blood-tainted herbs and oils to his cave of sin. Sweet Akaviri poison, dust from saints, sheaves of human skin, toadstools, roots, and much more cluttered his alchemical shelf. Like a spider in his web, he sucked all their power into himself, Mannimarco, Worm King, first of the undying liches, corruption on corruption till the rot sunk to his very core. Though he kept the name Mannimarco, his body and his mind were but a living, moving corpse as he left humanity behind. The blood in his veins became instead a poison acid stew. His power and his life increased as his fill collection grew, and the mightiest were artifacts, long cursed since days of yore. They say Galerion left the guild, calling it a morass, but untruth is a powerful stream polluting the river of time. Galerion beheld Mannimarco's rise through power sublime, and to his mages and lamp knights, "Before my last breath face I must this tyranny of worms, and kill at last undeath." He led them north to cursed lands, to a mountain pass. Oh, those who survived the battle say its like was never seen. Armored with magicka, armed with sorcelled sword and axe, Galerion cried, echoing, "Worm King, surrender your artifacts and their power to me, and you shall live as befits the dead." The hollow laugh answered, "You die first," Mannimarco said. The mage army then clashed with an unholy force obscene. Imagine, waves of fire and frost, and the mountain shivers. Picture it, lightning arcing forth, crackling in a dragon's sigh, like leaves the battle mages fly, to rain down from the sky. At the necromancer's call, corpses burst from earth to fight, to be shattered into nothingness by a flood of holy light, a maelstrom of energy unleashed. Blood cascades in rivers. Like a thunderburst in blue skies or a lion's sudden roar, like sharp razors tearing over delicate embroidered lace, so at a touch did Galerion shake the mountain to its base. The deathly horde fell fatally. But heeding their dying cries from the depths, the thing they called the Worm King did rise. Nirn herself did scream in the mages and necromancers' war. His eyes burning dark fire, he opened his toothless maw, vomiting darkness with each exhalation of his breath. All sucking in that fetid air, felt the icy touch of death. In the skies above the mountain, darkness overcame the pale. Then Mannimarco, Worm King, felt his dismal powers fail. The artifacts of death pulled from his putrid skeletal claw. 1,000 good and evil perished then, history confirms, among, alas, Vanus Galerion, he who showed the way. It seemed once that Mannimarco had truly died that day. Scattered seemed the necromancers, wicked, ghastly fools. Back to the Mages Guild, victors took the accursed tools of him still living in undeath, Mannimarco, King of Worms. Children, listen. As the shadows cross your sleeping hutch and the village sleeps away, streets emptied of crowds, and the moons do balefully glare through the mighty clouds, and the graveyards people rest, we hope, in eternal sleep. Listen, and you'll hear the whispered tap of footsteps creep, then pray that you never feel the Worm King's awful touch.